Hey, Jonathan, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Coming out of last weekend, how are you guys doing health-wise with regards to the flu? Or you think you guys are moving past that, or has it cycled back?
Yeah, I think we're most definitely moving past that. Guys have taken the opportunity to recover and get their bodies right. So I think we're in a good spot right now.
Rich Carcella.
Good morning, Jonathan. Thanks for doing this. Hey, I didn't get a chance to ask you Saturday after the game, but the fact that so many of you guys from Canada contributed to the win Saturday, what does that mean to you?
Yeah, it was real exciting. It was a real positive note. Seeing guys, all come from Canada. A spot where football's not as popular, and a lot of our main motives is to actually get out of Canada and come play ball here in the States. So seeing a bunch of us, have good games was real inspiring and motivating.
Joe Giuliano.
Good morning, Jonathan. Speaking of all the kids from Canada, you being a fifth-year senior, how have you dealt with being kind of a recruiter in your own right? When you talk to the kids who have interest in Penn State, what do you tell them, and how happy are you when they decide they're coming to Penn State?
Yeah, I just try to be an outlet to all my guys back home. Just let them. Obviously, I'm a guy who's been in this program for a while now. So being an outlet that can answer questions, provide insight within the program, and to let them know what they're stepping into, that's something that obviously I really take pride in doing. And then watching them make that decision to come up here is always exciting, and I feel like it pays off very well for a bunch of the Canadian guys. So.
Joe Smeltzer.
So, Jonathan, everybody who follows college football obviously knows about Kenneth Walker. He's had some injury problems, but still, obviously, somebody you're thinking about a lot preparing for Michigan State. So, what would you say about just having to prepare to try to defend against a player of that caliber?
Yeah, obviously he has tremendous talent. He's had a real breakout year for Michigan State. But as far as our preparation or whatnot, we continue to take the same approach each week. No matter who we're playing, really. That's the honest truth. So, we acknowledge his talent. He's a great football player, but we just got to play our game and just stick to the game plan, and we'll like the results.
Martin Comtos.
Oui, Jonathan. Just maybe two quick questions. First, about you had your first interception on Saturday. What did it mean to you? And just your thoughts about your fellow Ottawa resident, Christian Veilleur's performance as a freshman, getting out there and delivering a huge game for you guys.
Yeah, I was real proud of Christian. Obviously, as soon as he stepped on campus, I saw the work that he put in. I saw his determination, his motivation, his work ethic, and just seeing that all translate onto the game field was really inspiring. It was a really great thing to see. I'm really proud of Christian, and his future is really bright. As far as my interception, it was a real exciting moment for me. Obviously, got my first interception. Just shout out to the defense. Obviously during their play, doing their job on that play. Applying pressure and getting in the respected coverage drops made it real easy for me to execute. So,
Audrey Snyder. Audrey, I think you just mute. There you go.
Very good. Jonathan, going back to Christian, during his recruitment, how much or how little did you guys overlap with Vic at Gridiron Academy?
Oh, a lot. Yeah, no, when I was an old head before I came, when I was an old head in the Gridiron Academy before I ended up transitioning to school in the States, I remember he was just a little young buck in the program or whatnot. So as far as Gridiron, it's ran by Victor Todondo, who does a great job. He brings in kids, and we train only 6 to 7 days a week, and then we travel on weekends to showcases and camps in the States. to gain exposure. So I was with him throughout that process, and he was a little baby.
And I want to follow that up if I may. What do you remember of Christian at that age?
Yeah, I remember him being he was always a worker. He was always a worker. He was always someone who showed up to work, and took on any challenge. I remember him being able and being willing to step up to any challenge. He was just a little quiet kid, at first, but yeah, that's what I remember when I look back.
Rich Scarcella.
Jonathan, I know this week is Thanksgiving here in the United States, and that Canada had its Thanksgiving earlier this fall. But what are you at the end of your fourth year in the program? What are you most thankful for?
I'm thankful for a lot. Even being here, I would say one of the most things is just the people I'm surrounded with in this program who have helped me, who have been by my side through the good times and the bad times. So the relationships I've developed, I would most definitely say is the most thing that I'm really thankful for. Yeah, it's the people in this program.
Joe Giuliano.
Jonathan, we remember last year talking with you about how you and Jesse had to wait at the border for a ride back to the States because of COVID. But what's it been like this season with things a little more normal? Obviously, we're still in a pandemic, but things have kind of normalized a little bit. What's this season been like for you compared to what you had to go through last year?
Yeah, I mean, last year was completely different. I would just say the bonding that we've done this year, because last year we weren't even in the team meeting room. We were all dispersed in our indoor facility for team meetings. So I would say the ability, to just gather together as a team more often definitely made the difference this year than it did last year. So I would say that's a definite positive.
Max Ralph.
Hey, Jonathan, thanks for your time. Obviously senior day this past weekend, but it seemed as the game went on, there were a lot of younger guys contributing, freshmen and sophomores. As the season winds down, as a fifth-year senior, do you think there's any form of ceremonial passing of the torch happening in this program?
Yeah, and I feel like it's always been that across college football. You want to get your young guys experience. You want to get them in the game. And allow them to contribute, because ultimately they're going to be playing one day. So it was great to see that happen for a lot of the young guys and a lot of guys who don't typically play. To see them get that experience and to be out there on the field is a great thing. So,
Andrew Destin.
Just Jonathan, speaking of those young guys who contributed, Malik Mega was one who kind of stood out, and given you his connection as well, being a Canadian like yourself, could you talk about his development and what you've seen from him as the season's progressed?
Yeah, Malik's a guy who, he stepped here on campus and just put his head down and worked. That's just in his character. He has great work ethic and he competes. And, watching that through training camp, watching that transition through practices, to see him display his talents throughout the game in front of 100,000 people was a real blessing, and I was real proud of him to see his hard work pay off.
Martin Comtos.
Yeah, Jonathan, with a guy like Malik and Christian, I think you've got a francophone background. Have you guys spoke a little bit of French around campus the last couple of weeks together, or?
Yeah, so that's Christian and Malik. Their French is pretty A1. Mine is a little rusty, because obviously, my mom's from Montreal and all that, and she speaks French. She's a francophone and all that. But I didn't really grow up speaking French. The only French that I really learned was from school. So I was in French immersion, in the French immersion program while I was in Canada. But as far as speaking French back home, in my household, I didn't really do too much of that. So not me, but definitely Christian, Malik, and Jesse, I would say for sure.
Rich Scarcella.
Jonathan, you have one game left in the regular season, obviously. How would a win this week affect how you look at this regular season?
You know, it's all about how you finish. Obviously, you know, we've been through a lot of adversity this season, but you know, it's about how you finish. And I feel like how you finish is a real testament to the character of a team. Despite what a team may go through, how they finish, I think, is a good indicator of what kind of program that is. So I would just say that, you know, we're just going to continue our process. We're going to continue attacking each week how it is, and we're going to try to get this dub.
Joe Giuliano.
Jonathan, you and Jesse had to make position switches early in the season. I wondered how you felt you've done with your position switch, and how have you seen Jesse adapt to his new position?
Yeah, I mean, I think Jesse done a great job. You know, he's a very versatile physical player. So moving him around, you know, isn't really a liability. He's a very smart guy. He watches a lot of film. He knows the defense inside and out. So he knows his job, and he executes his job at a high level. As far as me, you know, obviously making that transition, playing a little bit of linebacker this year. I understand that, you know, I'm playing to my strengths when I do that. I play my best football when I'm closer to the line of scrimmage. I think I know that, and the coaching staff knows that. So being able to play in a position that kind of highlights my strengths a little bit was a great thing. And, you know, I had a lot of fun doing it.
Go ahead, Rich.
Jonathan, have you made your decision about next year? And if you haven't, what will factor into that decision about whether or not you return?
Yeah, I haven't made my decision. I just want to finish the season out. Obviously, I don't want any distractions, but when the season's over, I'm going to sit down with my parents, obviously with the coaching staff, and talk logistics and what would put me in the best opportunity to pursue my goals moving forward as far as the NFL. So,
Any final questions for Jonathan this morning? All right. Thank you, everybody, for your time this morning, and thank you, Jonathan, for your time as well.
thank you guys.